Hello and welcome to Workshop Studios. This is a different video for me. Today I am in San Francisco and I am experiencing the Waymo experience. If you haven't heard of it, it is a driverless car and it is now taking me down through San Francisco at about 8:45 in the morning. So this is, I guess you might call it rush hour traffic, and I'll give you a little look around. So I'm going to be going for about 30 minutes. I'm not going to film the whole thing, but it's already been a really great experience. So you hear that lovely music in the background there. And it greeted me with a nice voice that said good morning and said my name, and reminded me to buckle my seatbelt. So let me show you what it looks like without a driver. So there it is. There's the no driver in the driver's seat. Wait till we get going here. We're at a red light now, so when it gets going I'll show you some more. So here we go. It's deciding to turn, so there it goes all by itself to turn. Oh, it is just too interesting. Here we are, we're pulling up and it's going to stop just fine. Not too close, not too far away. It's very smooth there. When it speeds up and slows down, it's not doing any jerky motions or anything. So here we go again. Try and get the mirror out of the way. So here we are coming up to a turn. I don't know if you can see it up there. Right past that light, we're going to make this kind of slight turn to the left. So let's see how it does on this turn. Oh yeah, just fine. Follows the contour of the road beautifully. It's staying right in the middle of the lane. That is just amazing. So some of you who watched my channel for a while know that I'm kind of I love technology. And I have not had a chance to do this before. And there it just decided to do a lane change. But I just love this whole idea that this thing is all run, I guess you call it by AI or something like that, but it's just a fantastic piece of technology. It also has these wonderful features where it's telling you what your arrival time is on the screen there, and so you can kind of track that. I can also change the music and everything with my app, or change the temperature. There's a screen back here that allows me to change what's going on. Here's the music, I guess, and I can pause it. There's what the temperature is in here, which is a little high for me. I might turn it down a smidge, but I can also say just pull over if I want to, and it'll do that too. Now it's telling me it's going to turn, so it already knows that it's going to turn. So you see that screen? So here we go, we're turning, and around we go. Look at that. Wow, that is pretty amazing. So again, this screen is a direct representation of what is actually happening out on the street. So you can see there's a little divider there in the street, and if you look down here, there's the dividers. So I think that's part of the technology, is they have to have an extremely detailed map of the area, and so that it will be able to navigate that. But it also has a special system called LiDAR, which I haven't looked it up yet, but apparently it's part of what helps it see all of the moving things around it. So there's a bicyclist right there, and it sees a bicyclist. See it there on the screen, the green thing? So it sees the bicyclist. There's the bicyclist going there, and there's the bicyclist driving off. So it sees that moving over there, because it's on the street, and it sees the cars. So here comes another car coming up here. Right there, that blue one. Oops, it just went by, I didn't catch it. There's a car going across, and there's a car going across there. Car pulling up there, car pulling up there. So it's detecting all of the different things going around. Now there's another Waymo car right there. Oops, I went by pretty quick. So my only complaint so far is that the seatbelt keeps ratcheting and choking me. So I'm trying to keep it from doing that, but I haven't been able to do that yet. So I may have to figure out something to keep that seatbelt from ratcheting like that. I don't know if you've had that experience in some cars you've been in, but so all of the Waymos are made by Jaguar, at least the ones here in San Francisco. So these are Jaguar SUVs that are driving around San Francisco. And this half-hour ride cost me a little over 20 bucks, I think, or 25 bucks, which from a taxi standpoint, I'm going to guess is probably not too bad. And it's kind of the busy part of the day. It's not like an off hours thing. So price-wise, it seems like it's a pretty reasonable deal. There's a bicyclist that just came across there, and oops, you can't quite see them, but there's another one that just took off going across right there. And there's our bicyclist, that green one. We're going to go up by him. There we go. And oops, we went by already. So there's another one up ahead right there. And coming up to it, keep an eye out. There's the green bicyclist right there. We come up to another right turn. And a lot of times this top will give you another message, like waiting for the intersection to clear or the light to change or something like that. But here we go. So it's waiting for all these cars to come by, just like you would if you were in a regular taxi. So you see the traffic coming, and it's mapping all this traffic coming. So it's seeing it over there. There goes another Waymo car right there. See it? That white one? So one of the rules is you can't sit in this seat, so it really only seats 3 people, 1 there and 2 in the back seat. You can put things in the trunk, it says, so if you need to do that. A couple of Waymo cars right across there coming our way, but so really you got to be careful that you're limited to 3 people, but a lot of taxis are probably the same way, so not really a big deal. Here we are going through a tunnel. Another Waymo car right there. Can you see that thing on top? It's very distinctive looking. If we can catch up to it, I'll show you that little spinning thing on the back. That's the LiDAR. I think I heard somebody say that there's 700 of these things here in San Francisco. And that one of the drivers we used last night, we did an Uber last night, but that driver said that there are people who commute to their job in a Waymo in the morning and then use Uber on the way home. But that's for probably people who've got a lot of money, because it's a bit pricey to take a Waymo every day. So it's pretty roomy. You've got some of this room in back here, and you've got, good seat sizes. Here's the front seat, so you can see what that looks like. And so when it pulled up, I opened the door with my app. It said unlock, and the app said unlock the door, and I did. And that's when it greeted me. Now, one thing to remember about the San Francisco area, that we're just a little bit north of Silicon Valley, the home of a lot of these things. So Waymo has its headquarters here, and Uber has its headquarters here in San Francisco. Certainly we have Facebook and Google have their headquarters here in huge campuses that they're doing. So this is kind of like sort of the center of the world for technology, and so it makes sense that you would want to launch it, I guess, nearby. But if I understand right, Waymo is now reaching out to other cities, but they have to have extremely detailed maps of the streets of those cities, and then they have to get the cities to agree to it. So they're working on that, and I know where we're from, they're working on getting it into the Atlanta area, and that apparently has already happened. There's some cars there, but the Waymo system requires a support network as well for the cars. So the cars automatically cycle back to a garage area, and apparently they will sometimes rent or buy downtown garages, and then all of their support would be in there, where there's charging stations and cleaning and I guess refueling. I haven't figured out if this one's electric or not. It sounds like it's electric. It's very quiet. So, there's a lot of infrastructure that's required, and I'm guessing that they have to have very special network requirements, because this thing is hooked up and downloading and uploading data all the time too. So I don't know if each car, how autonomous it is. I may have to look that up. But I know that they must be hooked up to the internet, so they have to have enough bandwidth in whatever city they're going into. So again, you're looking at this, and it's got real time where it's mapped out the pedestrians that are on the sidewalk there, and it's doing this all the time we're driving. It's mapping everything with that LiDAR. So you can just imagine the amount of computing power that's going on in each one of these cars, just to be able to do that. And you can see there's a long line of cars here, and that's what it looks like here in the real world, is there's that long line of cars. And then you have cars going by us, and it's mapping all of these cars going by us. And that was a bus that just went by. So it's it's almost mind-boggling how much information is being, crunched to be able to do that, just to drive me across town. The car is very clean and sweet-smelling. So I don't know how often they service these, but it looks great. The windows are all very clean. Obviously, the driver doesn't need to see out the window, but... And by the way, there's no tipping the driver here. Not that I know of, at least. So, here's another interesting challenge. We just went over kind of a little bump, and we're going down a hill, so the car has to anticipate the fact that it's got a forward momentum that wants to drag the car down by gravity. So this is actually a fairly steep hill, being San Francisco. And they've got that mapped in here so that they know how much brake power to put on the car to keep it from continuing too fast down the hill. For many of us, we went through driver training, and then we had to learn how all these things ourselves. And so what this car is doing is what we as human beings do all the time. And lots of people get their driver's license. And so it is mimicking the human behavior and doing a really good job. But it is amazing to think that our brains are capable of this, as well as carrying on conversations and doing business sometimes, with people that are on phones talking to other folks, talking to family members. And so, the cars are truly amazing, but it isn't, it's not the same as the human brain. That is still something we have not achieved technologically. So I'm looking up out of the sunroof. So there's the sunroof, but this part right here, that's the Waymo device sitting on top. And if I'll show you when it drops me off, what that looks like. There's 1, 2, 3 Waymo cars all in a row there. There's an interesting sign. Can you read that? Attention taggers, please stop tagging here. And if I zoom over, guess what? Just so much tagging right there. I'm assuming this green here between our car and the next one is the safe distance, green being good, and there's the car ahead of us, so it's keeping that distance with us. So here's another interesting idea that, to kick around, is that we're coming to a red light, so it knows that that light is red, and then it changes green, so it knows it changes green, and it's anticipating that. It just did a little jog on the steering wheel, and I don't know if it was thinking that somebody was getting too close. But the other thing is, it's somehow knowing that light isn't going to change yellow. So I don't know if it's hooked up to the traffic systems as well. So here's a green light, and a guy just decided to cross the street. Okay, so it went ahead and... So now we're going to make a left turn in very busy traffic. Can you see all this? And we're pulling in this kind of narrow road. Yep. Oh, it made that turn just fine. Wow. And here we are in Chinatown. You can see all the lovely decorations up there. We're arriving in 2 minutes. There goes my Waymo car right there. Nope. This is what the Waymo looks like on the outside, and there it goes, all by itself, going out to its next.
Videos. It's going back.